Tivibu Spor ekranlarından hepinize merhabalar. Beşiktaş'ın eski futbolcularından Fabrice N'Sakala ile birlikteyiz. Kendisi Beşiktaş'ta şampiyonlukla yaşamış bir futbolcuydu. Beşiktaş'ın şampiyonluğunda etki oynamış bir futbolcuydu ve şu anda bizlerle birlikte kendisiyle özel bir röportaj gerçekleştireceğiz. First of all, I would like to say welcome to Turkey again. So, how is life? How are you? What were you up to? And why are you in Istanbul right now?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm training hard to find a new challenge for this year, and I come like every time in Turkey because it's like my home. So it's hard for me to leave this country. So every time when I can have free time, I come to spend time with the friends, the players. So it's nice to do it again.
So, what were you up to since you left Beşiktaş? Because since I know that you have not playing a professional football for almost a year. So, what did you do after you left Beşiktaş?
It was a tough time because when I was out of the squad, it's really difficult to train as a professional player because we was like maybe 6-7 player. So to make like a big session is really difficult. Like we cannot do like small games or kind of training like that. And during the winter time, didn't have like authorization to go to another club for rent to play because the most important for a player is to play. But I didn't give up. I train as I can, and now I'm with my first club where I start professional in France. I train with the team, so for me it's good because so I keep the level really high, and I wait the opportunity to have a new challenge this summer.
Okay, good luck for that. So, let's talk about the process of you leaving Beşiktaş because it was a little bit complicated. I would like to hear it from you. How did the process go? How did you leave Beşiktaş? Because you were first left out of the squad, and then you parted ways with the club. So how was the process of you leaving Beşiktaş?
It was really difficult because I never had this kind of situation in my life, including like social life or professional player. I just came. Remember, I just came back from national team. But before that, I knew it already. Like something's wrong. When Umut signed in Beşiktaş, when it's a long time we play football, you start to feel some situation like before this happened. And I remember this game we play Sporting Lisbon at home, and I invite a lot of people, my family, like friends, and I tell them like it's my last game.
Yeah, so you knew before.
I knew it. I knew it. I said it's my last game. I spoke with a lot of players like Torre, Geza, Rosier, because we have good connection, many players, because we feel it when the season starts. We didn't finish good, so we start bad. So we start to feel it as a team because we was like a brother. So we knew like some player, like we disappear like this, like Laic in summer. Like one day I come in a training and I was like, where is Adam? And nobody can answer to me. I was like, it's strange, like we trained together yesterday. But yeah, this is a part of football, but it was really, really difficult to have this situation because until today, all the clubs, when I speak, they want to know why I was out of the squad. And when I tell them, I even don't know. This just happened. They're like, maybe something's wrong, maybe his body, maybe. And it's really hard for a football player to stand up after that.
Did you get any answers from the club managers, I don't know, the directors? Did they say anything reasonable to you that you were left out of the squad because of this, you were left out of the squad because of that? Did you get any answer?
A real reason, no. No, since today I never get this kind of answer, but at the beginning they said it because I like a picture. I think you see
From
the trouble.
Trabzonspor.
Yeah, from Trabzonspor, but it's not the first time I did that. When we've been champion, we lose 2-1 same year against Trabzonspor, and I did the same, like picture of my friends. So I was like, this surprised me because I saw some player like, and when they see what happened to me, they put it back, and I was like, okay, the problem is me. So I accept because I'm a professional. So I said, okay, they decide like that. So we go like this because I don't want to make trouble in the team. We need to win, and if we can win like that, it's okay for me. But it was getting worse during the time because, like in Turkey, when you're out of the squad, it's not like in Europe. You stay on the team, but they clearly tell you like you can go, you can train, it's okay, but you'll not be in the squad. Just you can stay fit for the future, and they wish you good luck. But in Turkey, it's not like this. I learned for myself.
So let's talk about the manager that you worked with both in Alanya and Beşiktaş, Sergen Yalçın, because you worked in Alanya and he was the one who brought you to Beşiktaş, but when you were left out of the squad, he was in charge. So did you speak to him personally? Did you ask him, and maybe he gave you an answer, maybe he talked to you, maybe he tried to make things right, or maybe not? Can you give us any details about that?
My opinion about this, I think Sergen knew what's gonna happen this season, because when we see the time he resigned, because when you're champion, you win the league, you win the cup, you win everything. I don't see any reason to don't sign like one more year. For me, it's not normal. So I think he started to feel it because when Abubakar leave, if you look like the four last game, many things change about the player between us because we was like family at this time, and when we came back in August, in July even, some player was like, it's not the same. Like the mood of the squad is not the same. We was training good, but not like a brother anymore, because we missed this player, Dorukan also when he leave. He start a little bit after Laic, after Ozan, and as a player when you are at the pitch, the game change. And when you see Gezal this year, last year also, he's different. He's a good player, but the attitude he have when we had Abubakar in front was different because he's a player with a big discipline, making extra training, so he pushes us to give the best. And when you look today, he come back and he's another team. So I think Sergen feel it, and when I was out of the squad, we didn't talk too much because he's not this kind of coach. I know because I was in Alanya with him, so I know him is the pitch. If you're not at the pitch, we don't talk too much.
Okay, before we started the interview, you said that it was a mistake for Abubakar to leave. They let Abubakar leave and everything fell apart. Do you still feel the same?
I still feel the same. Because if you play with Abubakar, you will understand. He's a really good player. As a striker, you can compare Abubakar with even like top player in Europe like Lewandowski. So when he leave, to take like the same quality in Turkey at this time will be really difficult because he was fit, fast, technique. Like you don't see that much player like that. Even in Arabia, he leave. Ronaldo came and they said, no, we want Abubakar back. So this means a lot. I'm happy for Beşiktaş to bring him back because for me, I think he's kind of captain after Atiba because Atiba, is my captain, forever. But now I think like the season now is different. They even can be champion if they continue like this, and I hope they will finish good.
I'll ask that later, but let's go back. When Valerian Ismail took over after Sergen Yalçın, after that process, did he try to take you in the squad back? Did he want you to stay in the squad and stay in Beşiktaş? Did you talk to him?
Yes. I talked 2-3 times with Ismail. One time he saw us, we was training, and he asked me my situation in the club. Then Then we talk by phone because I asked him like, because at the beginning they said to me, the coach when it was Sergen, don't want you anymore in the squad. But I know it's not Sergen, so I said okay. So when I said okay, they changed the coach, so now this reason is not available, so I can come back. So I text him. I said okay, it's possible for me to come back in the squad to train, and if you judge like I'm not a good player, okay, I will go back with the other player. And he said yes, I know you. Like yes, I'm open for this opportunity, but I have to ask the club first. And then I was like, no, maybe now it's done, because he said something's wrong. I don't know what's happened before I came, and I cannot push because I'm a new coach. I need to win many games to speak about this. But after we said, okay, I don't think it will be possible, but if you want, I can try to speak with some club for you, and we will see what they said. I say, okay. And so I didn't come back in the squad.
So at the end, the club decided for you not to come back to squad, not the coach.
Yes, the club, they already decided this a long time ago, I think, because I remember one time I was positive.
For COVID?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure until today if it was right. And when Rezzan was not sure to play, they said, okay, you train tomorrow. And I was like, but you tell me like I need to wait 7 days. Yeah. They said, no, tomorrow you train. I was like, okay. So I train like crazy. In 3 days, I feel like training like 1 month. So they put all the session in three training. I was like, okay, it was Başakşehir game. And finally, Necip was positive also. We do the test together. And finally, Rezzan was okay. And they tell me, oh, finally, we need to wait 7 days. I was like, but you told me, like, I will play this weekend. I was like, okay. So I go home. And at this moment, I start to think a little bit like it's strange. I know they want to sell Rezzan. I know I received many messages also in media. You have to play less because he's a Turkish player. You need to go national team. I said, okay, I respect it. But we are here to win. Me, I play to win. I want to win. Okay, if it's better, okay, play. I will work. But if it's not, let us win. But I understood it's not only football. It was not only football, so I accept it. I accept it because I see it, and we was in team, so no ego, no. We was like, I was the first one to say, Rezzan, good luck. But I think like the club was too much. They wanted to control everything, but everything was good. This is my opinion. And when the new player came, like Pjanic, Michi, is good player, but now after we have ego in the team, it was totally different than Abubakar, who was like, come on boys, we work, no, stay extra, go to the bike, go ice bike and this. But Michi was younger, not too much game like in Super League, and not professional as Abubakar was. And this changed a lot. We fight in the training sometimes. Then you feel it. You see the position we finished the league, 6 or 7, I think. So this is the result about management, my opinion.
Actually, you talked about a good point. When Rezzan came, the Beşiktaş community were really happy because it was a player. It was a Turkish player coming from the youth system. Yeah, it was kind of good for them. But you were a regular starter in the squad. Did you have any heartbreaks in that process? Because I know that you had no hard feelings between you and Rezzan. But what about the management? Because yeah, a young player came. He's talented, but you're left. Did you feel left out? Did you feel left behind?
Yeah, I already feel it. The season when we've been champion, because in one point I understand them, But in another one, I'm like, you really have to decide what you really want, because they were like, okay, it's good, but we prefer this one. It's difficult to play because you don't feel anymore at home. It's like you play away every time you see, and you play like, okay, if I do mistake, they will put me out. If I don't do, they will put me out. So you play, maybe you play good, but this will not be 100% of your talent. So, like, and I said to Ridvan, I said, you're lucky because when you play free. You play like it's okay if I do mistake. But me, even the coach, when we was talking, he said, man, you cannot do this because if you do this, they will whistle you and this. I was like, but when we do meeting, when it's Ridvan, they said, play. So we didn't have like the same
same rights, same equal rights.
Yeah. So it was really difficult. And I'm not the only player at this situation. Many had this. But I was feeling like, oh, this is because I come from Alanyaspor. That's why they judge me like this. Because one time we have a meeting in the club about media, Instagram, Facebook. Maybe because one player answered to a fans in media. And I asked him, okay, if we cannot answer to them, who protect us? When I was in Anderlecht, in Alanya, if we have trouble, the trouble stay inside. So the president will come, speak with the player. I don't like your attitude or I don't like this. We fix inside. But when I come in Beşiktaş, they fix everything in media. I saw even in the official page of Beşiktaş, they can say many things about player and nobody said, no, he's a player of Beşiktaş until this year and we support him until the end. And if he's not good enough, we will say bye after. And then I come in Beşiktaş and they just like say, play. You know? Yeah. Just play. I remember my first game in PAOK. I play. The day before, I take the list of the player and I was learning the names. Like
you just had one day to prepare the game.
Yes. I was like, okay, this number, like, okay, this is Najib. Okay, Najib, this is right sentence. So I was like, this is Najib. I was like this, like studying, like, because I don't know them.
You didn't know your teammates.
I didn't know my teammate. And I play. I remember I saw a picture because I watched the game again and we make offside and offside was like this. Yeah. Because one say, no, we go one. And me, I was like, who I follow? I don't know. And it was a disaster. I think it was the worst game I ever did in my career. But I learned at this time after how it worked in Beşiktaş.
You had a bad season in the Champions League in that moment. Do you think, what do you think went wrong in that Champions League season? Because something was wrong and you felt it as a player. So what do you think Beşiktaş were unsuccessful in the Champions League that season?
We wasn't ready for this kind of competition because we become champion with one team and we play Champions League with another one. And so it's like we lose like 1 year of work in 2 weeks. We change most of the team. The mentality of the player changed. We didn't know if Gezal and Rosier will come back. So ego start to grow in the squad. Like the pace of the training start to go down. And for Sagan was really difficult for him to build or work with the team because we start the preparation with one group and we start the first 2 games with one team and then the trouble start.
Let's go back to your career in Beşiktaş. There was a really, really bad game, Gaziantep game, because you had an illness, you fell down on the pitch and everyone is in shock. Everyone really, really feared about your health. And I remember watching that game. I was working in the TV and I was like, oh my God, it's really really bad. And I remember it was Necip who was the first one came to help you. Did he really save your life in that moment?
This week was bad because I remember I needed to make my injection of COVID. But I didn't want it to do it because I make one in France. They asked me to do one in France before I come back for the preparation. But then they said I need to do a second one. And then again, they said you have to do another one because the one in France they don't accept. But this one, all the week I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good, like fever, like even I was training, I was like taking pills every day. I come, I see the doctor mostly every day. I spoke with the coach. I was like, this game, it's not like I feel sick, but I didn't eat too much. It's strange. I was like, I'm never sick, so I know it's strange. And during the game, if you watch again, I was speaking with the player who the warming up on the side, and they say you're good. I said I don't feel good. Ask them to change now. They say okay, no, 5 minutes because you run good. I said yes, I can feel good, but I think it's better I rest now and next game. But then after, like I start to cough, breathe less, and I was feeling like I was getting like the COVID, or I was like, what's happened? And then when I fall, I start to vomit. But if you watch the video, like when I start to vomit, like Necip came, put me in good position, but after like the staff turned me, so like it's like I vomit inside. So that's why it was getting worse, and then like I couldn't breathe, so I just fall. But after it was good. After it was okay. You know, I feel like they ignore me. Like some people start to change. Like, don't talk too much with him because he will be out soon. This is the feeling I had, even for treatment. Like I come, oh yes, tomorrow. I was like, but I need now. No, tomorrow. That's why I was like feeling, ah. And I said, no, I'm good. I want to play. They said no. I said, no, I can train. They said no. But at home I was going in Muay Thai every day, 2 times in a day. They said, no, you're not fit. You're not ready. I was like, which game? It was which game? I don't remember which game we've been playing. Dennisley. It was in Dennisley. We came back, and Nejo was positive, so he didn't play. So they said, okay, after the game, when we land in Istanbul, everybody will make a test, and we will see who is positive or not. So we make the test, but they give us free. We have 2 days, 3 days free. So I go in Alanya, and when I arrive in Alanya, I was in my home. Like the doctor called me, like they said, okay, you're positive. I was like, oh, okay. If I'm positive, okay, I stay at home. I'm in Alanya. I will call the doctor from Alanyaspor because I know them. I still have connection, and we will do the process like the normal process. When you have COVID, you make tests, you have days, and I give you the contact, and you speak each other. And they say no, you have to come back in Istanbul. I was like, but if I'm positive, I cannot fly back to Istanbul. Even with car, or it's 10 hours. So as a player, everybody knows it's not good for his leg. And I remember they called me in video. There was like 5, 6 person. Some I never saw. I didn't know they was in the club even. And they said no, they want you to come back tomorrow. Today, yes. So we will call like ambulance, and they will drive you back to Istanbul.
From Alanya.
From Alanya. I was like, wow, no, I cannot do it. Even like the best car with the bed, I will not do it. It's 10 hours. That's why they have flight. And they said, no, it will be comfortable. Everything will be fine. And then you go hospital after you go home. I say, okay. So I said, okay, if you said this, I will respect. Ambulance came. They put me in the bed. they say, okay, lay. I lay like this. They put like belt, like I'm a crazy guy, like yeah. And I stay 10 hours like this until Istanbul.
Really?
Yes. They don't let me pee. They don't give me food, nothing. I go Istanbul. When I arrived in hospital, I didn't feel even my legs because it was so cold inside. And they put me in the room. I go inside. They close the door. And one day I saw no one. I saw no one. I text. Nobody answered. And one guy came and he said, oh, it's okay. He gave me pills. And he said, okay, you can go home. I say, but I'm positive. You tell me I cannot have contact with people. I say, you can go home. And I called the club. I said, they said I can go home. They said, yes. I said, but how I go home? My car is in the club. I have nothing. How I go home? And I said, they said, no, try to find taxi. And I was like, okay. And I started to walk. And I saw Mensa in the light. And he said, what you do? I said, I tried to go home. I put GPS. I was walking. And he said, okay, I put you home. I said, yes, but they said, I'm positive. He said, come, I put you at home. I said, what is this? I said, okay. He put me at home. He said, I will bring your car back. And then I was like, so what's happened? No news. I was like 21 days at home because they said I was positive. I didn't have any message of the club. Nothing like maybe train, maybe do this, maybe we do another test and this. So after my coach of kickboxing said, okay, let's make a test. And if you're negative, we don't train at home, you come in the gym. That's okay. And I make a test and I was negative. So I go in the gym. I was like, so why I don't go with the team? And they said, no, you have to do the test from the club. And I was like, okay, now I understood. Something's wrong. Like, maybe they have a plan for Ridvan. And the only way they can put me a little bit out is to do this kind of things. Because I love football. I will work. I will give my best anyway. And even like when they put me out of the squad, they say, no, we give you day off. I say, okay. Even day off, I come in the gym, mostly in the club. And they say, no, you cannot come in the gym. I was like, strange, like you have a player who want to work, and you said, no, don't work. I was like, okay. And then after I received like a paper, like punishment. I don't remember the amount. It was 30,000 euro because they said I didn't have the ethic of the club. I didn't respect the player. I fight with the coach. I was like, I still have the paper. Like I don't want this situation anymore. And I was like in shock. I was like, wow.
I want to ask you, do you follow Turkish Super League now? Because Beşiktaş are still in the race in the championship because they are in a winning streak. They don't lose games easily. How do you see Beşiktaş in the current championship race? Do you think they can be champions at the end of the season because they're still mathematically they have the chance to do it?
For me, of course, they can be champions because I know, as I told you, I know Abubakar is a challenger. He will never give up. If he can win all the title every year, he will do it. And he know also he have a chance to win it. That's why maybe he came back even. So I don't see any reason to don't have this chance to win the title after.
Too many people say that if Valerian Ismail had left Beşiktaş earlier and Şenol Güneş came to become the coach, Beşiktaş now would be on the top of the league. Do you agree with that?
I'm not agree because it's not only the coach. Coach make a team, but the most important is the player. Is the player. We play. With my opinion, Ismail have like European mentality. He have like project for 3 years, not 6 months. So in this plan, he will say, okay, I know when I will come, it will be like good, bad, sometimes good, some bad. But in 1 year and a half, it will be good because the system will be good, the connection with the player will be perfect, and then my style will grow good now. With the player, I will include in the summer. That's the European mentality. But in Turkey, they expect now. Yeah. It's now. Like everything takes time.
The teammates currently playing in Beşiktaş, you mentioned Gezal, Abubakar, Rozier, and Kudu. Do you still in contact with them?
Yes. I'm still speaking with them. Some of them I met. Wellington also meet a lot. Maswaku, we play national team together.
Yeah, he's your compatriot and still playing in your position.
Yes. Even before he signed, he asked me, how is it there? I said, no, it's a good club. Everybody expected I will say like bad things. I said, no, I can have my situation, but this don't mean he will have the same. So I said, no, it's a good club. Atiba also, I speak a lot. I call him Atibu.
Atibu.
Yeah, like my sweet side now. But yeah, so we miss, even when we talk, we miss this moment we had because it was like the football we was dreaming, like natural, fun, like with a good result. Everybody love each other. I was like, oh my God, if I can finish football with them, I will do it. I will sign directly. And yeah, after many things changed, but this is the most thing I miss a lot.
So one last thing. Is there anything you would like to say to Beşiktaş community, Beşiktaş fans as we finish the interview?
Yeah, I will tell them to stay the same, stay loyal, because loyalty is, for me, is the most important things in life, just in life. They stay in the back of the team, no matter who play. They support the president, the direction, and I think it's good. That's why I think I still have a good contact with the fans, because some text me, they say, oh, we miss you too, like your smile, your happiness, like, and you was fighting. I said, yes, thanks. So don't change this, and I wish them the best. So Beşiktaş 1, 2, 3 Beşiktaş.
Thank you so much. It was really, really good. It was a really beautiful to talk to you about this. Evet, röportajımızın sonuna geldik. Fabrice N'Sakala bizlerle birlikteydi ve sorularımızı yanıtladı. Şimdilik hoşçakalın.